Darren, thank you for joining us. The month of October marks Black History Month, and it's a period of celebration for the black community and something that Staffordshire FA would love to celebrate too, particularly this month. Now, where better place to start than to come to Port Vale? It's one of our clubs in the county, and you're at the very heart of it as manager of the club. But for our listeners and viewers today, could you give us a background as to your playing and coaching and managerial career, as to what sort of experiences you faced as a black man and as a man of colour? I know you started out at a young age. Obviously, you were brought up in Birmingham. I think your first move at 16 was down to Torquay. So that's some move to make at such a young age. So could you just give us an idea of your career just to get things started?
Yeah, I mean, what a huge transition in my life in terms of wanting to become a professional footballer, but that initially first step coming and the opportunity coming at Torquay United, almost 180 mile away from Birmingham, the Midlands, where I grew up in, and going into a small town and coming out of probably the second biggest city in England. So you can imagine the transformation, moving down from obviously my family, black family, moving down into sort of a white English family and living there with them as somebody just turned 16, but somebody wanting the desire to become a professional footballer. And it presented the situation at Torquay. And that was just a start. My scholarship, my apprentice, doing a 2-year down there and staying down there. And just when you think of Birmingham as a city and Torquay as a seaside town, English Riviera, where people go and have holidays, it's a complete different transformation. The culture is different. From, West Indian, Asian, market, shops, city centre, real busyness, hustle bustle of life, to the seaside where it's peace, calm, tranquility, probably 110,000 students visiting there for language all over Europe. So it's just a complete different transformation. So those are the things that you have to overcome, the obstacles, and as well as going into a full-time training program and developing yourself over 2 years to want to become that professional footballer. So there was challenges there. I'd probably say for the first 6 months, massively homesick, really was sort of on the phone every night to my parents. And then probably after about 6 months, the penny dropped, or it clicked, or however you want to look at it. And I was able to say, no, I belong here. It's what I want. It's a dream. And cracked on with the football. Obviously, huge. And I'm still in contact with them there, with the Beauchamp family. And looked after me to this day now. I'm still in contact with them now. They took me on and adopted me as their very own son. And I'm still very much close with the family, love the family immensely. And I'm grateful that they were a huge support for me down there and taking me on as their very own.
And from what you just said there, obviously your passion still remains to this day, and that's the reason you're still in the game. But in terms of your background, your heritage, do you feel that you ever encountered any challenges because of that? How did you overcome them?
Yeah, I think the first thing was you initially get frustrated and angry, but you realise in the profession, it's not the way to channel your aggression. Your aggression is to challenge it inside the football pitch and doing things to the highest level and working to the highest level that your ability has. And I think that was the big thing for me to challenge, because what I quickly realised at the time was the obstacles that was in front of me wasn't the obstacles on the pitch where I was at my best. The obstacles was distractions or things said to me off the pitch. But as long as I was doing what I was doing on the pitch, it couldn't stop me in my progress. And I quickly learned that, really, in terms of what I was doing on the pitch, the rapid growth I had getting into the first team at a young age, 17, I think I was. I remember debut against Birmingham City. What would have been then in the old fourth division, which is now the second division here, against Birmingham was immense. And at that age, playing at just 17 and playing senior men's football, I think I nearly wrapped up 100 league appearances by the time I was probably 19, so it was really a rapid growth for me into first team football, and a development that was really, really quick on the pitch. So you quickly learned, in terms of your dominance on the pitch, that what they sort of conspire after that, then you start getting a lot of respect from outside sources in and around the game, and you start building your name and your profile in the game.
So I guess it was a matter of let the football do the talking. Now, there's no doubt about it, there's a shortage of coaches of colour across the grassroots and pro game. But from your experiences in your playing career, how did these sort of prepare you to take on your coaching badges and qualifications to get where you are now?
Well, certainly when I look back at it then, playing the game, I love the game so much, really love the game. I love the competing in the game. I love what football brought on the front line in terms of when I was playing it. So what I did was, when I was playing it, was I done two things. I went into electrical engineering. I done a course in electrical engineering, and then I've done a course I've done physical education as well, learning and studying that. But then I thought to myself as well, I wanted to become a coach. So I went on my coaching course and managed to graduate through all my badges, right the way up to level 5 pro license, and thought that's something else I want to do in the game. That's something that would bring me joy and happiness, football and playing the games first and foremost. Then I thought being a coach and being in the environment, or being a PE teacher, working with the pupils at school in that sporting environment, would bring something that I felt rewarded with after my footballing career had finished on the pitch. And then it sort of went into the transition into coaching. I got given my first coaching role at West Bromwich Albion as an under-18s, and then it just went on from there. And even in the environment, I was so happy to be in those environments, and I will not take back in terms of what I've learned from that, working 18s, loans manager, first team coach, and your rapid growth in terms of that. And it's come straight now through to management. At the time I thought I wanted to be a real good coach, and then obviously the powers that be at West Brom saw enough leadership skills in me at the time to award me and grant me the opportunity and an honour to manage the football club. So my managerial career just went on from there, and sometimes I see things in me now as a manager that when I look back at players now, I probably saw what managers were seeing me in the time when I was captain at the clubs. There was elements of leadership in me, and there's part of that in me that I'm managing today and leading and directing players and staff at a football club with a oneness and a unity in terms of what we're trying to do on a daily basis. As when I look around the game now, and to be one of a few black managers in the present day game now, it saddens me a little bit, because there's so much of my peers out there that have got far more qualifications and skill sets than what I've got, and that I look and think to have them embrace the game, what I am doing now, can only mean the game's going to be better for it. I really do think that. And the thing why it saddens me is because I've got a love and passion for the game. They too have a love and passion for the game. And that's why, as one of the black managers there, I'm endorsing them to keep going, to keep pressing on, and not to stop, because they're far too good to stop, and they've got so much to offer the game, and at every level. And it's not the fact that they haven't got the qualifications, because they have got the qualifications, but to meet those qualifications, the opportunity needs to present itself, and that's the thing that we're trying to sort of campaign, if you like, to try and help, to try and get more through. There's a lot at through the pyramid of it in coaching capacity or some elements, but when we look at sort of managerial positions on the front line, to be visually seen and let's see them working and adopting principles to the game, then there's certainly a shortage in that.
And those experiences that you just mentioned there, it's no doubt that such opportunity you were fortunate to receive. But as yourself now, do you sort of hope that you can be seen as an inspiration and hopefully somebody that people from underrepresented backgrounds can sort of idolise and look up to? So my question to you would be, where did your passion for football and coaching come from? And did you have a figure that you'd look up to in the game?
Yeah, for me, obviously parents supported me immensely, but I just remember when I was playing young, I was really into cricket, and I just remember my dad happened to call me in the house one day and there was a football match on, and as it goes, West Brom, living in Birmingham. At the time, West Brom had 3 degrees in Cyril Brendan and Laurie playing at the time. So of course, for the black community, it's a proud moment to see 3 players playing in the team at that time, and West Brom at the time were playing top flight football. So it was a proud moment, and my dad happened to show me a game on the TV, and I remember seeing them on the TV, and then I just turned and said, that's something I want to do. So I suppose that was birthed in me right there at that moment when I seen it. And then just looking at the pitch that they were playing on, it was like a stage, just like you'd probably look on a theatre stage. I just thought the football pitch was a stage. The floodlights around them and the adoring fans supporting those 22 players on the pitch. And I just remember looking and just saying to my dad that I want to go and do that. So it was down with the cricket bat and picked up a pair of football boots. And then it just started at my local school and it sort of went on from there. There's so many people that's played a part in my career to date. But I remember that's where it all started, at my school, caretaker seeing me, putting me in the Sunday football team, then it going on to Torquay, and then so on and so forth. So that was the bit really for me where it sort of, where I saw it. But then I just had a love and a passion for it. It just grabbed me because I managed from that time right the way through now. You know, I speak to school friends and you know, when we've had school reunions over, and they talk about my passion at the time. You know, getting up in the morning at 5, 6 a.m, doing fitness runs, and just from the age of 16 and just having a real passion for the game and a real love for the game. And I'm really pleased here today that I've still got that passion and I've got that love for the game, to be associated and part of a football club and be a manager now and see transform from playing into management. That's still ongoing now, and the same love and passion I've got it, there's many of my peers that's got them because I speak to them on a daily basis, weekly basis, and just to keep encouraging them.
And something that I think would be important to get across today would be the overall experiences as a player and as a manager. What have you learned, and what advice would you give to players, coaches, managers that are making their first steps into the game from underrepresented backgrounds?
I would say keep that belief and desire. Don't let the outside obstacles deter you away from your passion, which is to want to work in the game. Be prepared to be adaptable to his or hers needs. Be adaptable. Obviously, have a picture and an end goal in what you want to achieve. But in leading up to it, there's many different steps, and along the way, be in the position where try and stay as neutral as possible, try and be as adaptable as possible. But also, when you come against those little hurdles along the way, is how might you get the best possible situation out of that potential problematic hurdle for yourself in terms of going forward. And I think that would be the best advice, because everybody's journey is going to be different. Everybody's journey is going to be different in the sense of what's being presented in front of him or her in a situation to gain progress and gain a leverage in this game. And that's the bit where you've just got to be really adaptable along the way. And of course, like I saw, you need a bit of help along the way as well.